Priscilla, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. I want to dig into what got you into being in the entertainment industry.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm originally from Ecuador, and the person who got my feet wet was my uncle. He was very much into entertainment. He made his own Mickey Mouse and all the characters from Disney and would take me around with him and push for me to dance and model and do all these things to the point that I won so many pageants. So at 9 years old, I came to the United States and I was growing up and I was like, okay, I'm just I love acting, but I make that happen here. And, my parents were getting settled in a new country. We didn't speak the language. And so I was growing and I was like, you know what? As much as I want to do this and love doing this, I need to go to school because I don't know how I'm going to get into this acting situation. Um, so I went to school. I earned 3 degrees. My highest is my master's. I became a counselor and I work for the Department of Education. I want to say that a year and a half ago, and mind you, I grew up watching telenovelas, which were very dramatic. So I just loved the crying and the everything, and I would just immerse myself into, the way that these people were, and I was like, I can do that better, you know. Um, but then a year and a half ago, prayer is everything. I just started to pray and started to feel like, oh my God, I need to get back into this. And as crazy as this may sound, I prayed to God that He will fast track me into everything that I wanted. Because I was like, you know what? This should have happened a long time ago, but it didn't. And so now, God, you know my heart, you know what I want to do. So let's fast track me. So I started to, like, as crazy as it sounds, to manifest and to picture these things with just a year and a half. So I was like, I want to be in a movie that it's winning at festivals. So I found, well, actually, they found me because I'm always being found. So this producer found me. He was, hey, I'm doing this film. Never did we think that that film will win in Europe, Bangkok, Canada, everywhere. A little rom-com
Wow.
that, yes. Talk about manifesting. I was like, oh my God. Then I was like, you know what? Because my friend who had been an actor for 20 years and he just happened to be one of my coaches, and we became friends. We're like brother and sister now. Um, he had been doing this for like 20 years and started to win awards and everything. And I was like, well, by the time I win an award, it's gonna be a long time. No, everything just started happening so fast. And people were finding me and scouting me and we want you here, when you here. And I was like, oh my God. And it just happened. And here I am a few films later, 2 awards at IPOP where Ariana Grande was discovered that I didn't think in a million years. When they called me up for the award, I was literally just sitting there. I'm like, and my manager's like, get up. And I'm like, no, I think they made a mistake. I was like, I think they made a mistake. But as I was performing, as I was coming out, I changed my mind like completely to and my commercial, like as I'm standing there to go, because this was like an international um you know what is it event, and it's just been happening. So I just, I'm grateful, and I just wait for them to keep coming, the blessings.
That
Amazing.
is amazing. And I am right there with you, girl. I believe in praying to God and just believing in thyself, but most importantly, believing that God has a plan already set in stone for
Mhm.
you, for me, for Ryochi. And all we have to do is continue to be diligent in our steadfast. And before you know it, me and Ryochi have spoken that he wants a TV show, where we are actually interviewing guests, like Ellen and stuff. So I love hearing this, and even more than that, I love that those who are going to be listening to this podcast hear that because dreams do come
Yes.
true.
And I always say dream big and don't never, never. I mean, it was just a year and a half and all of this just started happening. And I was just like, oh my God, and I'm never one to, because I know actors get so overwhelmed when they send in auditions and things aren't happening. But this was what, told me this is where you're supposed to be. If you won these two awards, because I wasn't even expecting one. So they called me once and then they called me again, and I won Best Actress of the Year. And then Best Actress of the Year for a monologue and commercial.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, this
That's
is it.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, at IPOP, it's not just a place where, people from the States come to. It's international. So there were over 300 people, a lot of celebrities, celebrities that were giving us our award who have been discovered at IPOP and who are now, are so known. And me speaking two languages and performing my monologue in two languages and just busting out crying with so many emotions, they were like, wow. And then, guys, I don't know if I mentioned already, but I was at the beginning stages of COVID. So I was not feeling well at all. I was looking behind and I saw that long line. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna faint. But I didn't know that I had COVID until it was all over and I had already, the ceremony was happening and I had already gotten my awards. And the way that I ended up at IPOP is that so I had gone to LA to audition to be signed and find a manager. I was signed by a manager, a very well-known lady, no hard feelings. And could you believe that she dropped me because I missed an audition because my mom was really sick?
Yeah.
So I was devastated.
Yeah.
And my new shout out to Maria Watley, my new manager from Global Image. Um, she scouted me. She was like, listen, I auditioned with her and she was like, you have to come to IPOP. She was like, you just have to. So I was like, okay, I explained, I shared with her what happened with the previous manager. And she was like, and that's so you need to be at IPOP. So this is another, inspiration that if something happens, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens to put you at a better place. Because if that manager had not dropped me, I would not have ended up in IPOP. Well, now I won two awards and I elevated my career. My career. Amen in Jesus' name.
Yes.
You can't make this up.
Yes, yes. But like Daryl says, and we all say, everything happens for a reason, and God can tell us when it's time, right? When your moment. And but also, don't give up, right? And follow
I
your
almost did.
dreams. And
Almost.
everybody, I always tell myself and I try to tell other people, don't give up on your dream. Go for it, and you just keep going, keep chasing it, right? And you never
Yes.
know what could happen, right? It's small
Wow.
steps,
Yeah.
right? And it's just
Yeah.
unbelievable the journeys you experience and the people you meet
Mhm.
online or in person in the entertainment industry is powerful because every single person that you meet in person or through social media in this entertainment industry has a similar story, how they never gave up their dream, their passion, and they always say this is their dream and they never gave up. So that's 100% truth for all of our testimony.
Yeah, I almost did. I was like, you know what? That's it. I don't have a manager. I'm not doing this again. And how am I going to do this again? And it don't only put me at a better event, because IPOP is big. It's the thing. It's my manager
Huge.
says, it's the Emmys, it's the Oscars, it's the Grammys on steroids.
Yeah.
Yes,
Literally.
it's
Yeah.
it literally,
And I never
literally
and I didn't even know about IPOP. I was like, what is that? It's international, presentation of performers. And I was like, okay. Or that I would see these celebrities or any, it was just, and then that was the sign. That was the sign. Like, as much as I could ask God, is this it for me? It's almost like he said, Priscilla, you have an award-winning movie. You just won two awards. This is it. Simple.
amazing, amazing. It is. I want to dig into because you talked about all this stuff that you've done, which is congratulations.
Thank you.
But I want to go into because I know my co-host Daryl asked this question in the past before, but I want to ask, what's your why? I'm really curious, what is your why?
I'm gonna tell you what I tell everybody. I have been so blessed to have so much and then some. I do acting for the love of it. Yes, it's the money. Yes, it's all of that. But I want to do this to get to a place where I can be able to help everyone because I don't need anything anymore. You
Yeah.
know, I just need like a simple life, but I do this for the love and to be able to, if I, when I make it, big, when, because I want my Oscar, I want to be able to help others. I want to be able to give back, and I always say to people, stay humble. For the love of God, stay humble. Don't let anything get in your way. When you have people doing your makeup, chauffeurs picking you up, just stay humble.
Yeah.
Because when you give and you stay humble, people want to give you more. Because we're going to come across as what I like to call these earth angels, like my manager, because to me, she's everything. To have said, Priscilla, you're going, you're going, and to push me when I was just like, I can't do this anymore. All the downfalls, all the rejections every time. But now I'm just like, okay, next. I audition, I don't get it. You miss out because now I'm not just an actress. Now I'm a two-time award-winning actress. So, and I say that humbly, but I say that to keep me grinding. And my why is that I want to be able to help others, no matter how it is. That's the why.
I like that.
I like that.
Um, my question for you is, please tell everyone that's listening the reaction of your uncle who got you started and his thoughts and feelings now.
Oh my God, he is so proud. He is so proud because we would go on like parade floats, and he will make sure I was there because he has such a great attitude about him that he was so loved, and within that love, I was immersed into that and pushed. I was such a shy little girl that if it had been for him, oh my God, I couldn't get in front of a camera. I couldn't, I was so shy growing up also because so much bullying, I didn't speak English. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was bullied by my own cousins, when I got here. And now I'm like, well, now just watch how, my success makes you regret what you did to me.
Mhm.
So it's just, I mean, he's been everything. He's been everything. And my mom was a single mom. And so, he was the one that said, I'm going to take you under my wing and he will push me onto dance competitions that I won so many of and just push, push, push. He was like, no, you're going to do this, and for that, I thank him. But right now, he is so proud. So, so
That's
proud.
amazing.
Hmm.
That's absolutely amazing.
That whole time he was having you practice for what
Hmm.
was to come.
And ever since I was little, I just knew that I used to say to myself, I know I'm going to be famous, but I didn't know how that was going to happen. And then when I got to New York, I was like, well, I guess that's not going to happen because I'm in school, earning all these degrees. I'm a counselor, which is my other passion that I love, working with children. But I was fast tracked. There's nothing that no other word that I can say, but only that God has fast tracked me to everything that I've ever deserved, ever dreamed of, and so humbly prayed for.
That's
That's
absolutely amazing.
that's an incredible testimony to not only you, but of what's possible.
Mhm.
I mentioned this to the men's group that I attend, that the furthest thing from our imagination is someone else's reality.
Mhm.
You know, things, I mean, you may not think it can happen, but you have to believe it can happen.
And have the patience because everything is perfect in God's timing.
Oh,
It
yes.
really is. I just can't stress it enough because I would see people, tell the story that I'm telling right now, and I'll be like, who knows? And now I couldn't. I'm telling you guys, when they call my name for those awards, I was so numb. I was like, no. And then they put my headshot on I mean, the size of that screen was huge. It was at the Biltmore Hotel, and the screen was huge, and then followed by two other screens on the side. So they were like, when we show your picture on the screen, just come up because they want to because of time. So then my manager was like, get up, and I was just frozen. I was frozen, and then I got up, and I just remember running, to the stage. It was um you can I still to myself, I still think like, "Oh, did that really happen?" And then my dad, took my awards, put them on a frame with the headshot, and now he gave it back to me, and now it's all over my Instagram. But you hear these stories and you never think it can happen to you. You
Hmm.
never think it can happen to you.
Hmm.
Wow, it's amazing, powerful story. It really is. Um, I want to dig into what is your switch topic here, but what is your favorite genre?
I would say drama.
And why is that?
Because I get to show a lot of emotion. I love like the crying, the screaming, the being calm. I just want to show it all. And I think that that's why, my monologue was so successful, and winning these awards because that's my thing. Like I'll do comedy anytime and, horror, but for me it's drama because I grew up watching these telenovelas where they were crying and I was just like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. I want to cry. I want to show emotion. And to cry and show emotion, particularly cry, is not an easy thing to do for a lot of people. But to me, it just comes so quickly.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And
You
what
know,
is
that's
your
the that's the thing is like there's so many actors who can't cry
hmm
at the drop of a hat. So when you have that kind of ability, imagine how much it touches people and makes them feel so many different ways emotionally, and they can't help but be drawn in. So I commend you on the gift that God's given you because you know you can go to Amazon right now and get some teardrops to put, to make you cry, but it's not the same when it comes from the heart.
It really is not. And I always say, acting is not acting. If anybody can understand what I mean by that,
Hmm.
it's not acting. You take lines and you just, it's you're not acting. And people, get so overwhelmed with I have to portray this character, and even like learning lines, it comes so naturally to me. It's like I don't know it, and I've heard so many people say to me, "You're just a natural."
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yep. But
amazing?
acting is not acting.
Very true. Where do you where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my God! By then, I better have won an Oscar. That's on my list. I better have won an Oscar. Like, and I'm just gonna keep on this fast track prayer that God is going to continue to fast track me. He didn't bring me this far to bring me this far.
Very
Hey,
true.
keep
Don't give
keep
up on
dreaming
that
big.
dream.
Yeah.
Keep chasing that dream.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, and
that
I
part.
remember when like that friend that I was speaking to, that he was my coach. I remember him sign. I brought him to my school to speak to the kids. I remember him signing an autograph for me that said to my new friend, I go by Cynthia, but Priscilla's my middle name. So he said, "Dream big." He ended it with "Dream big," and I framed it. I have it in my office, and every time I look at it, that pushes me to, okay, I'm dreaming. I want to continue to dream big. I'm already here. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, from now it's just up, up, up.
That's right.
Very,
Yeah.
very true. Dream big.
And the fact that, that I can speak two languages, that opens up so many more doors.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
mhm. Yeah. So my manager said, you know what? When you speak English, there doors are there, but when you speak two languages, then it's so much more.
Let's get into the topic of you being a model. How did that start? And are you signed by an agent for modeling? Tell us about that story.
So I didn't. I wasn't even in this for modeling. I wasn't. But when I started to do my headshots and then body shots, they were like, you have a look that we need for you to model. I'm like, yeah, but no, I'm not here for modeling. I remember here in New York, I was scouted again by an agent, and I just went for acting, and she was like, I want to see you walk. And I was like, no, I'm not here for that. But she was like, you have to understand there's a look about you. And I said, okay. And then from there, I was signed in LA in January when I won at IPOP when all the managers and agents were there. They signed me all across the board. So, some actors have one agent here, they have to look for different agents, but I was signed all across the board.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I said, if you guys want me to do modeling, then I mean, whatever, I'm open to anything. But I wasn't thinking modeling, but then I remember I was like, okay, when I was young, I modeled and I won a lot of pageants. So, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that
Amazing.
was that.
Why
Yeah.
not use your fullest potential?
I mean, they know best, right?
Hmm.
I can want, and then there's God, right? Because you can want whatever you want, but at the end of it all, it's what God wants.
Yep.
Because I always keep God first. So
Very true.
Yep.
whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's true. Only God knows.
Hmm.
Only God knows. I want to switch topic now. What is your upcoming project for your acting?
So I just auditioned for a film over the weekend, and I'm keeping
Hmm.
my fingers crossed for a detective. So hopefully I'll find out this week. But
Wow.
my last film, which is Shape Up, I can't really say much about it except that I'm a criminal in that movie who retired from doing all these criminal activities. And then my brother tells me to just do it one more time because he needs a favor from me. And so that's the character that I'm playing. And I'm Oriental, which is the movie that has won. That one is still like, winning because it's still being viewed in different countries and things. So it's not going to be shown. Of course, we went for the premiere, but that's not, out there yet. And then I have a documentary that's called Prison to Prosperity, still working on that. It's on my I always say this wrong, DB page. I always say the B before the D. So yeah, so it's all there. So that one is dear to my heart because the producer was someone who was incarcerated, and you know how when people are incarcerated, they believe a lot of people think that when they come out, they won't be successful. So that's why it's called Prison to Prosperity. So he interviews men who have been incarcerated and who have come out and who now the Shape Up, he's a director who was incarcerated, came out, has written so many books, has about now 4 films on Prime. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so that's an
Wow.
amazing for African American men, and I play a detective on one of the what do you call them? Um I forgot what they call it. Because I'm not speaking, but it's just they're being interviewed, and it's just showing like the dramatization, I guess, or what's taking place. So I'm the officer who arrests one of them because they're telling their stories of when they were, before they got arrested. And then after how successful. It's such a powerful documentary. So I don't know where that one is going to be airing, but yeah, it's called Prison to Prosperity.
Yeah, I just want to say for those that are going to be listening, your past does not always determine your future. Don't always listen to what people may think or say about you. You have to believe in you. You have to have a purpose in your life. And whatever that may be, just keep pressing towards that purpose and weed out the distractions because someone, his name is God, has something in store for you that you don't know about. It's in his timing. And when it arrives, you will understand why you have arrived to your purpose.
And
Very
they are
true.
so passionate. They're both um what do you call it? Authors of a few books, not just one or two, a few books. And they're just thrive and are so passionate, about the things that they do. I mean, like they're go-getters. Nothing stops them. And it's one thing after the other, one thing after the other. And one of the directors not only is a director, but he also is helping like, the youth and going to schools and teaching acting and how to make films and all those things. So they're just amazing people.
He's giving back.
Yep.
Yeah, he's giving back to the community. Also change the young adults and the kids to show there's a purpose in life.
Yeah. And
God
even
has a
when
purpose for you.
yeah, and even in my school as a counselor, like I share, what I've been through in my acting. They're like, oh my God. And they're just so proud. And it's to inspire them that they can do it. Because just when I thought I couldn't, I was like, let me just give this a try. And I just auditioned for an agent and that was it. I hit the ground running, literally.
Amazing.
Literally.
Amazing. Now, I want to go off to, if you mind me asking, where are you located?
I am in Queens, New York,
Okay. Wow.
with hopes to one day move to LA, so because that's where the real deal is.
Hmm.
But let's see. I take it day by day. I try not to overwhelm myself with the outcome that I know nothing of. And just take it because that's I think the thing that tries that overwhelms us, not the unknown.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. You
So
know,
I
New
try
York,
to get into that mindset of just, live day by day. Yes, look forward to, but with no expectations. Because then, you have something to look forward to and you might just be surprised, right? Hence everything that has happened to me. So,
New York's a busy place too.
mhm,
I mean, New York, it seems like always has films in production or about to start production.
mhm.
And so
And it's a
I
city
think,
that never sleeps.
Oh,
right,
literally
literally.
never.
So,
I'm hoping, that things do come up here and I don't have to travel to LA or have to go over there. But even one of my agents is in LA. So that's where I was signed.
So let me ask you a question. Like you have your agent in LA. Let's say you book something in LA. Do you just go to LA while that's being filmed and then come back home? Have you gone through that process? Tell us about it.
I haven't yet. But my principal, thank God he's very supportive. He's been very supportive from the beginning. He was even shocked because, I was just talking about it and he was like, I remember you just talking about this. And now all of a sudden here you are, films and awards. And he's like, things are moving really, really fast. I was like, yeah, I know. But he's very supportive. So if I needed to leave for a film, he will be fine with it.
That's wonderful.
that's amazing that you
You're
have.
so lucky to have a job like that,
Mhm.
because there's
Um,
so many actors who have to make a decision. Am I going to quit or am I going to chase this opportunity?
mhm, mhm. And that had me going bananas at some point. I was like, how am I going to do this? And then I just sat with him and I was like, listen, you say you would support me. And he was like, I'm going to support you. And I was like, so you mean to tell me that if I had to do a film, he was like, I will support you. I was like, wow. I don't know what will happen once he retires, which, is another thought. But like I said, I'm taking things day by day and whatever happens, happens. It's also, I'm going to say it again. If God did not bring me this far to bring me this far, so he's going to make it work in a way that everything is doable.
Yep.
Hmm. Very
I
true.
really like your positive energy about what's happening in your life and how you're spreading that not only to your students, but those who support you.
Yes. And I'm so grateful, so grateful to everyone because I always say it's the little things. I know sometimes as people, I remember working in a school and a assistant principal saying to me, you make a big deal even of the littlest things because to me it is the little things. If
Mm.
somebody the other day I was at Starbucks and I joke because I am always joking with people and I'm so personable and everywhere I go I have a friend that's gonna hook me up with something, look out for me some kind of way. So I went to Starbucks and jokingly, I say to the barista, I go, hey, I've been waiting here a long time. I think I deserve something free from here. And I was like, what's my gift? And he goes, you got it. And he goes, you can take anything for it. But I was only kidding. So then he was like, what's your favorite? So I said, Madeline cookies. And then he just gave them to me. But I mean, if I tell you the things that I have been through, how, I always feel like there's just always earth angels around me. Like it's always something. So it's those little things that I'm so grateful for. It's just the little things like going to catch a flight, and then they tell you you have, coach, and they tell you, hey, we've moved you to first class because you have all these perks and these points, and you're a silver member, or we moved you to even more space or whatever they call it. Um, and it's just the little things.
Yeah, I love your energy as well, like Daryl
Thank
said.
you.
It's amazing. Your energy is awesome. And and you're right. God has a plan. Don't give up. We keep going. We keep pursuing what we want to do. Don't stop chasing your dream because only God knows. Like
Yep.
Daryl said, don't let anybody judge you, right? This is your dream. Don't let anybody stop you. You keep going. You keep that passion going, and you'd be surprised where you are and where you're landing. It's just
People are
absolutely
always going to
amazing.
talk. People are always going to talk. So to get
Hmm.
stuck in that energy, just I mean, we learned this, from growing up because it just comes to a point where you're just like, maybe not for everybody, but for me, it was like, I don't care what people have to say. I've never followed anyone, I've always created even my own trends when I was in junior high school. To this day, I never follow like the way I'm so creative. I never follow what people, do. I always come up with like my own little things. And then I'm like, nobody copy because, but I'm just joking. But yeah, no, it's life is what you make it. It's
Yeah,
what it.
if they're gonna talk about you, might as well give them something to talk about.
Yep, yep. And
Very
whatever you
true.
want. Yeah, it's just they're still gonna talk. So why, getting your feelings, get emotional, let them. Because your
Right.
success speaks, for itself. Like I said, I was bullied when I was little, and now those who bully me are gonna see, right? Because you know how Facebook sometimes just connects you to people, even though they're not even like, and you just pop up in their feed. You might know this person, and exactly, I might just pop up in their feed, and hello, hello, remember me? So there's no greater, vindication or whatever, or victory than success. Than for those to see you, do well. And there's nothing they can do to stop that, right? Because what's done, it's done. So
Right, but you've also earned that from all your hard work and belief and faith. So that's why they can't stop it.
yeah, yeah. That good old
100%.
saying, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Girl.
Yes, 100%. Don't, you're right? It's the truth. It's 100% the truth. Don't stop chasing your dreams. That's the key point. Don't stop. Keep it going and you keep the faith and you'd be surprised what
Also,
happens.
I just can't, like, I honest you guys, like, I sometimes wake up and I'm like, did this really happen? Me, the person who will watch people say all these things and be like, yeah, because it happened to you doesn't mean it's gonna happen to everybody, let alone me. And to have taken that chance to say, I'm just an audition. And then for
Hmm.
people to say you are so good, because my manager was like, Priscilla, you don't believe in yourself. I'm like, no, I do. But to hear people say you're so good at what you do is like, you don't see it because you're just so in the love of acting that you don't really see it in that way. You just see it like, okay, I'm just acting. But when people just to say, you're so good. And then the minute that when I was walking out to do my commercial, like I just changed my commercial right on the spot. And that just caught the audience so fast. So fast. People were just doing their commercial, and it just occurred to me to come out, do my commercial, but before doing my commercial, say, news flash. And that caught everybody.
Wow.
Like, oh, whoever was writing or doing whatever was just eyes on me. Because,
Amazing.
just wondering, what is a news flash? And
Awesome. Um, where can people find you and find you on social media and get a hold of you and follow you?
So they can follow me as Sin the Latina Actress, but they can also Google me and look me up as Priscilla Bell, both on Facebook and Instagram. My nephew is currently putting together my TikTok because, that wasn't a thought, but I think that it would be a good idea if I'm there as well. So
And
I'll post
my
Priscilla Bell
last
as well.
and my last question for you is, what is your quote or your motivation for young upcoming actors and actresses?
So I'm gonna share a quote that I've lived by since I came to this country by Dr. Seuss. I've got it on a t-shirt. I wear it every time during his birthday, and that is, I was not born to fit in. I was born to stand out.
Amazing. Amazing.
And I always love to say, it's all about one love. I never forget that phrase from Bob Marley. One love, because it's about unity. I always end everything saying one love because we don't realize that all this animosity of, going against each other and all of these things, that's not what works. It's when we come together that we make dreams happen. As corny as it may sound, as much as we hear it, but people just tend to, say it and not really live by it.
Yeah,
No, it's all about unity. If I can help you with something, you can help me with something else.
that's right.
Amazing. Amazing.
Well, I have no last questions. I just have words for you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep being positive. Continue to inspire those around you. Um, but once you get to that space that you feel like you have made it, always remember to give back to those who supported you, who cared about you, and who wanted to see you win.
That's what I always say, there are a few people who I'm taking with me. And the ones who have been there know that I will be there for you.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
The ones who haven't, because, I want to be able to go to countries and be able to, give back. And that's how I see myself, like that is my ultimate purpose, to be able for God to put me where he needs to put me so that I can have the resources to be able to give back.
yeah.
Amazing.
That's
Amazing. But thank you for
Thank you.
coming on the Red Carpet Roundtable. I love your energy. Keep up the good work. We can't
So
wait
when I
to.
win my Oscar, I'll be back.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course, you better.
You
Yeah.
better. You better. Please. And we would love to stay in touch with you. You're always welcome to come back, and we keep up the good work.
Yes. It's only a matter of time.
That's
Yes.
Oh,
right.
it's only a matter of God's time.
That's
Yes.
even better.
It's
Amen.
only a matter of God's time.
Well, thank you
Well,
again.
Thank you guys. Take care.
take care. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.